place, rock the place.
What up, friends?
What up, world? It's your boy Jimbo.
And I'm that guy, Joe.
And welcome to another episode of Obot Shorts.
One Beer at a Time presents Obot Shorts, where we don't do a full podcast episode and we don't bullshit too much. We just drink some beers real quick and tell you what the fuck we think. Today's beers are from
Cincinnati, or better, Silverton, Ohio. But it's like Baldwin.
Right.
Okay? So, first one up, this is High Grain Brewing Co. Vienna Lager. So, I didn't find as many Cincinnati beers as I wanted to at the store we were at. It was a hectic short weekend when we went. But there's
give the people a little trip to Cincy.
There's a very high concentration of German history and German heritage in Cincinnati.
No shit, I didn't know that.
Yeah, there's a part of town called Over the Rhine.
No shit. Okay.
Yeah, and that's so like. I need to have you try some of the food I brought back. It's all frozen right now, but the breakfast sausage called Geta, you can only get it in Cincinnati.
Oh yeah, you've told me that before.
We bought
I must
6
know.
logs of it.
I must fucking know.
It's like one of Sarah's favorite foods, and her being pregnant, she's like, we need to bring that. Dude,
I'm gonna need 2 cases, please.
Dude, I spent $100 on just breakfast sausage.
I believe that. That's like me spending fucking $170 on a case of sausage from Texas before, bro.
But like, dude, you definitely got more sausage for $170 than I did for $100. But
yeah, that's true. I got hooked up big time. That time I bought that case, it was a fucking huge, like 8-pound, 10-pound bag.
Yeah. Now, this is not my favorite brewery out of Cincinnati, but this shit's really good. My favorite brewery is a place called Moorline, but they actually really disappointed me. I didn't get any of their stuff in cans, and when I went to go, they have a beer that I haven't had for a decade, and it's their Weiss beer. And I sat down at the bar, and I asked the bartender, I go, do you have the Weiss beer? And she goes, well, we have the raspberry. So I tried that, and I was like, god damn it. We left, we came back, we went to a couple other bars, just tried some food, some other places. And I asked another bartender, I was like, do you have the traditional Weiss? And she looked at me and just went, no. I don't know why. We replaced it with the raspberry last week. I don't know when we're bringing the traditional back. And I was like, fuck.
Because these fucking raspberry heffies are getting
that's
popular,
my
man.
favorite beer. And I haven't had it in a decade. And she's like, I'm really sorry. Like, yeah, I know. Damn. She's like, that's my favorite beer too. And I don't know why we took it off.
No shit on you, High Grain, but you gotta understand. Fuck, that's disappointing.
Yeah, 10 years.
It's heartbreaking. It's like...
But High Grain, I brought this shit home, and I've already drank a few of these cans because they're fucking delicious.
I really like the label.
Yeah.
Yeah, but the color is beautiful. We're getting all these fucking red lagers, dude. Look at that shit. Looks like an amber ale.
So I'm interested in your thoughts first, because I've had these a couple times.
It's got a nice little malt on it.
Yeah.
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 Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is nice, man.
I mean, do you not just want to eat Wiener Schnitzel and sit up in the Austrian mountains and...
Yeah, it has, I guess it's the malts.
Yeah.
It has those flavor notes that just immediately you're like, ooh, German, Bavarian, you know, Vienna. You know, it's like, oh, that style of brewing, like immediately. And then it kind of just makes you want that kind of food.
Yeah.
Beer, cheese, you know, pretzels.
Some Wiener Schnitzels, some fucking
good
Bratwurst.
Sausages. Yeah, man. It's one of those things where it's like, the flavors that you get on this beer, it makes you crave that kind of food because you know how well it complements each other.
Yeah. Speaking of which, Sarah's like, what do you want to do for Father's Day? And I was like, well, I'm going to make a big old breakfast. And I'm going to make some of that Cincinnati sausage. But I want to go to Kenrick's, and they make like traditional like Irish and English bangers. Mm-hmm. I want to get some of those. I've never had like real bangers. And I know it's a breakfast sausage that's like fat. Yeah. Whereas, like, we're used to the Jimmy Dean, the Schnucks Lynx. Don't get me wrong, I can house a whole tray of those fucking things.
Oh, yeah, dude.
But I want to try. So, like, I'm going to cook up a big breakfast. Honestly, I'll probably fire up the grill. Like,
yeah, bro.
What do you want to do for Father's Day? I want to drink beer and cook.
Yeah.
It's like...
Fuck yeah, dude. No, I really like this. This is good. And what's nice is I think We may not be experts, but we've been doing this for a little while, and I think it's really gotten noticeable and just kind of obvious the different levels of craft brewing. You can tell when either the brewery or maybe the culture and the scene from that area is a little bit younger.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You can tell when somebody has got something really, really going, and there's complexities, there's layers to this that remind me of a lot of high quality craft beer that we try. You know, this beer doesn't really fall short in any of the areas.
No. And again, they have such a strong German heritage in Cincinnati that, like, that town's gonna do German beer well.
Yeah.
They just fucking are.
And dude, and
I'm here for it.
And for lagers, I mean, I probably like Mexican lagers for just like chugging beer or cooking with, you know, marinating, stuff like that. I really do love Mexican lagers. There's a reason why like Modelo's so popular.
Yeah.
It's just a good all around beer. But personal preference, we've been drinking quality beer for too long. I fucking love German lagers. I love all Bavarian style brew. Wit beers and the Hefeweizens, like, it's just, there's a sweetness to it that you can't drink a fuckload of them all the time, but sometimes just that one, it's like, it's so good. It's so enjoyable.
One of my only, the only things I don't love about these German lagers and stuff, now they're getting more popular, so maybe I'll change my stance on this, but yeah, like, dude, I have no problem cooking with a cerveza. Right, with a Mexican lager, because you can get them abundantly and cheap.
Yeah.
I can get a case of Corona for the same price as the 6-pack of these Vienna lagers.
Right,
so, like,
because Modelo is like $10.99, $11.
Dude, when we get these good German lagers that you're like, fuck, I would love to cook with that, at the same time, I'm like, I don't really want to waste that on a marinade.
Yeah. Yeah, you have to really, really want to. Which, I mean, I've experienced that before. You know, you have a beer and you're like, fuck, dude, like, I don't want to, but it'll be so good in this cheese. And so you do it, you know. Or you know, you have a real malted beer that you really want to marinate some red meat in. And it's like, you really want to do it, so you're going to do it, but you can't help but think of that. You're like, fuck, dude, this is like $4 for this fucking beer, and I gotta use 2 of them, and I only have. You're like, I have a 6-pack, and I gotta use 2 of these bitches on the meat.
Drink them, but I would love to fuck with some of these like really malty German lagers on ribs as a spritz. So I did
that's a great idea.
So I did something the other day.
Shake it up so it's a little foamy as it's coming out.
So, dude, I did something the other day. I bought Aaron Franklin's books a while ago.
Yeah,
he's got 2 books,
and
I was like, you know what? I'm going to see what Aaron Franklin says about ribs. And it was salt and pepper. Just keep it fucking simple. And he even says in there, he goes, if you want to add stuff to your rub, fine. But he's like, I do just salt and pepper. And honestly, I fucking loved it.
Yeah. Well, it's all you,
like everybody's
it's
all
you
about
need.
Big rubs.
It's all you really need. Everything else is, it really just depends on what kind of flavor do you want, man.
Right?
You know, paprika is going to do a lot, you know, because normally when you get a pre-made rub, there's always papaprika in there, you know.
Dude,
it's going to do a lot of specific flavor.
Rubs anyway.
Oh yeah, but you know, like, you know, you can add some cayenne, you can add like coriander seed, you can add cumin, like all these different things are going to, you know, or you can add all that shit, whatever. Yeah. But even with none of it, as long as you have salt and pepper, especially on some pork, you got to have the salt. You know, it's like, with the right smoke, that's really all you.
And then all
need.
I did from there, you know, I had lots of smoke the first like 3 hours, lot of smoke, and then the spritz was apple juice and white vinegar.
Nice.
Yeah, I mean, I just kept it fucking simple.
Yeah, dude.
And those ribs were fucking delicious.
Yeah, buddy. That Vienna, I really like it. That's a very big okay, man. Yeah. It's almost fuck yeah. It's not fuck yeah fully because it's not fancy. It's not anything real special. But the blend of the malt with the little hop flavor on it, man, like, it's just a very good high quality brew. There's no shit you can talk, really.
No, you really can't. So this next one, I thoroughly enjoy this. I think you're going to be really happy about this one. I won't talk too much about it. But this is a Hefeweizen, right?
Yeah, this Bavarian-style wheat beer soothes with fruity aromas, banana and clove flavors, and playfully light body that finishes
And
smooth.
buddy, you know
That's sexy.
You know I'm a sucker for that in a traditional Hefeweizen.
Yeah, man.
I'm a sucker for that banana and clove. I just fucking love it.
Yeah, man. No matter what, I've always been a fan. It's never been like Bavarian style Hef has never been a brew that I disliked.
Yeah.
But ever since we went to fucking Iron Hops,
Yeah, and
we had Chad's. It's
and
still one of my absolute most favorites that I've ever tasted.
What beer did I talk about?
Oh yeah,
Fucking Moorline. That's why
That's
I was
right,
so heartbroken to not get that beer.
But like, no shit, dude. Ever since
at least
that one
Chad
time,
makes one.
go back and check out our first Obot on the Road episode, our first official one at Iron Hops Brewing. Our buddy
Yeah.
Chad. Listen to him talk about going to Germany for beer school and shit. Like, the guy is such a solid brewer. And
Yeah.
for real, this is a style of beer I've always liked and appreciated. But ever since that day, having his Hef, I have a different taste for it now. I just have a different palate for it
and
now.
that was one of the things I gave him such big compliments on, because that Moorline that is very traditional. All of his beers are super traditional.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Dude, it smells great.
Dude, and I love the
fucking
science.
great, for real.
I love the science that we're getting back to with brewing now, because
There's
so
a
many
level
places,
of traditionalism that's coming back.
so many places had gotten used to just like throwing, we'll just throw the fruit in the beer.
Yeah.
Throw additive flavors, whatever. No, guys like Chad, High Grain, Moorline in Cincinnati, UCBC, they have held on to the art that, like, believe it or not, with the right yeast and shit,
Yeah.
you can make it taste like banana.
You bring out these flavor profiles.
Who does banana and blow?
Bluewood.
Bluewood.
Bluewood, we got to come out and see you guys. I want an Obot on the Road with Bluewood.
They're another one where, like, just
Fucking Arch City
their
Haze.
through their yeast in their banana and blow Hefeweizen, they make it taste like banana and bubblegum.
Yeah, man.
That's
Without
not-
adding, like, it doesn't have bubblicious in the fucking
Yeah,
beer.
it doesn't have fucking, and it doesn't
Yeah,
have
it's not like
chemicals.
they threw Big League Chew in the fucking
it's
mash.
just the fucking yeast.
Or the wort, I
Understand the
guess.
science. All right, bro.
Here we go. Dude, it smells fucking great.
God damn it.
Yeah, see, when you're somebody who you really just like lighter beers because you just really enjoy to put beers back, which I think is a lot of times the line between domestic drinker and craft drinker. A lot of domestic guys, like, they stray away from craft beers because you can't pound it down the same way. And that's part of where, like, you remember when we first started this, that's part of like where my head was at with stouts. Is I'm like, hey, I mean, it's kind of good, but I'm like, dude, I can't drink like 3 or 4 of these.
No.
So what? Shut the fuck up. Sometimes a beer is so finely crafted, it's totally fine to just enjoy just one. And like a 16-ounce pour of this it's a little bit sweet. It can be a little bit heavy. It's a wheat beer. That may not be for everybody, but it's one of those things where it's like, dude, if you're gonna have one beer, the layers of complexity to this brew, it's so worth just that one beer.
Like
you know what I mean? Just that one brew. Like, if you're gonna have a beer at lunchtime,
Yeah.
or you get home and you're ready to take a shower, but you're like, I'm gonna sit down and have one beer.
Yeah.
A heavy hitter like this is so fucking enjoyable. It's more than just refreshing.
Yeah, it is. I knew you were gonna like it, and this is that dragon I constantly chase.
This is a fuck yeah, buddy.
Fuck yeah, it is.
This is very good. You know what? This reminds me of the first time, shout out KC Beer Co. This reminds me of the first time when I tried their Hef. Because still, no matter what, Chad might have my favorites too. That Iron Hops Hef, the Soothsayer might be my favorite. But the first time I had that KC one, I was like, holy fuck, this is like at that same level.
I want to make a declaration real quick. Chad's is my favorite now.
Yeah, dude, I think...
For one simple reason. When we drank it, I told him it was on tier with one of my favorite beers of all time.
Yeah.
Well, y'all motherfuckers let me down.
right. So you got bumped.
You got bumped because, my opinion doesn't matter to a fucking brewery that's existed for 100 years. Oh, some dude in St. Louis.
Hey, man, but feelings matter.
Yeah,
and it's okay to have your feelings hurt.
That shit hurt. I drove up there 6 hours.
Fuck yeah, bro.
I mean, really, it was to see my grandma, but like, I also was coming for the beer and the sausages.
Yeah, but props though. Yeah, this is another one, man, where like we know we have great breweries here in STL, and it really sets a certain standard. And there's been times where we've had beer from other places where it's like, yeah, you're like, I brought some Texas beer from some younger breweries, and it's like, no, dude, there's nothing wrong with this beer at all. You can just tell it's kind of young in the game. If you were to bring their 2 IPAs and stack it up against some of our older brewers in STL, it's like, you can tell there's levels to the game. Doesn't make their beer bad. It's just there's a process. It's a journey. Yeah. You know what I mean? And it's really exciting to start getting more and more brews from outside of our area that are just like so fucking high level. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like these guys are great. Yeah. From these 2 brews, I can tell the level of sophistication and quality of their brewery.
They say that craft beer is declining. I think it is, but
apparently they say the sales are.
Well, and here's kind of my theory on that. And again, I'm not a market expert. I'm not looking at the actual numbers. What I think it is, and we've talked about this with, we talked about this at Steampunk, and we've talked about this with a lot of people on this show. 10, 12, 14 years ago, when the craft beer scene really kind of blew up, it was everybody had to have an IPA and try and hoppy and hoppy and hoppy and hoppy and hoppier. And you had the hop wars and
it was hop wars, and then it was who can have the bigger juice bomb.
Yeah,
and then it was like who can make the best smoothie beer, even though it's not really a beer. But all that was the IPA world.
Yeah, and now I think sales are down because people are tired of paying good money for mid beer, and we've seen some breweries close down. Not even breweries we thought were bad, but I think what it is doing though is it is pushing breweries to not only make different kinds of stuff that are for the masses. Technical difficulties.
Hey, we'll splice it and put it together. Yeah. But like that's one of those things that I really, really love about that style of beer, man, is like there's layers of complexity. Yeah. There's like masterful craftsmanship that goes into a good Bavarian style beer, into a real good traditional German lager, into a quality Kolsch, a fucking Czech Pils. Like fucking Czech beers can be so good because of those layers of complexity that as you're drinking it, if you start with the beer frosty cold and you're still sipping on it 15 minutes later, the temperature's going to change and the flavors change. And that complexity
that's why I'm
makes it such a fun experience.
I'm kind of glad we kind of had that's why I wanted to go with the lager first. Let that half warm up just enough to where that banana and clove really punch through.
I love it. Cincy, I'm fucking impressed. I've never had Ohio brew, and this is fucking lovely, bro. We'll have to do it again sometimes.
Yeah, absolutely will. Yeah, dude, it was funny. Like, we went up there to go see Grandma, but also went up there on a very specific mission. To get some beers, to go have my favorite beer, which we failed at. For Sarah, it was to eat a bunch of Geta. So like every restaurant we went to that had Geta for Mother's Day, we went to a really neat diner that makes their own Geta, and she had a shitload of Geta there.
Fuck yeah, dude!
And then she had some at Moorline. She had some at the other bar we went to. I had a bunch of beer, and then they also have a very specific kind of chili, and a lot of people are familiar with Skyline chili.
You've told me about that too.
You can buy it here in cans, but like we don't have the drive-throughs. But like, you either love it or hate it. It's Greek actually, so there's apparently like a Greek culture in Cincinnati as well. Shit. So it's got like cinnamon and some other shit in it that you would not normally put in chili, but they have drive-thrus all over the place, and chili dogs are their big thing. They also do chili and spaghetti. Okay. But dude, I probably had 8 chili dogs in like 2 days. I would get we would go went and did stuff during the day.
Fucking Sonic the Hedgehog.
And then I would fucking drink in the hotel room.
Just eating like 3 at a time.
Dude, fucking twice, Sarah took me to Skyline.
Fuck yeah,
at like 10 o'clock at night.
That's what's up. I love that.
So I'd get 3 or 4 fucking chili dogs.
That's some real America shit, too.
The best part is our hotel room had it was It's one of those like Holiday Inn, not Express, but the other one where it's like extended stay or whatever. So I had like a little patio.
Nice.
Sarah didn't make me, but I was like, I'll go eat these on the patio. It's gonna smell like chili and onions in here if I fucking don't. So I'm sitting out on the patio at like 10:30 at night in the courtyard of a hotel, just housing fucking
fucking
chili dogs.
Cincinnati, props and love to you. I got to come get some of this culture. I love that.
Yeah.
That's cool, man.
Dude,
sounds like a good beer drinking town.
And I do got to take you downtown. Their riverfront, it'll piss you off a little bit. I tell people this all the time. I'm like, if you ever go to Cincinnati, it's going to piss you off a little bit. And they're like, why? Well, if you go to their downtown, you're going to see what St. Louis could look like.
Oh yeah, dude. That's what I said the first time I went to Indianapolis.
Yeah.
Because I was like, dude, Indy's like the same size as St. Louis. Their downtown is tiny, just like us. I was like, they got a little river too, but I was like, why is everything so fucking modern and up to date and like new school?
And people
I was like, what the fuck, bro?
There's parks, like, dude, there's a riverfront park that Moorline sits across the street from and overlooks. And there's this beautiful park.
Yeah.
Like, there's no home. Like, they fucking have cleaned up their city.
They're busing them to Cali.
Yeah.
That's why.
Dude, did you see? We're not going to bullshit too much. We're at 22 minutes, but you said that I have to bring this up. Did you see this video of Burbank police dropping off a homeless man in downtown LA?
No.
So, like, clearly they had a homeless dude out in Burbank, and they were caught on video just, like, going to downtown LA and just releasing this homeless guy.
Oh,
in LA.
fuck.
And Matt, I showed it to
California.
I was talking to Matt. I was talking to our buddy Matt, and I was like, all I could think was California is good to the homeless.
Loves all the homeless.
All right, folks, that's been a 20-something minute short, so we're gonna go ahead and end it right there. Wait, when did that actually stop recording?
No, it's still going.
Oh.